I actually got a message from a follower asking about if any food that we can give to our diabetic patients, maybe our mom, dad, or friend or so. So he was asking what are some food that we can give to someone who is diabetic. The truth is that we have varieties of food which we can give to anybody who has diabetes, which I'm about to mention now. One of them is unripe plantain. Unripe plantain is very good for anyone who has diabetes because it's filled with iron. Unripe plantain is very good and we can cook it in so many ways. We can make it unripe plantain porridge, which most of us have as our favorite food. Yes, most of us has this food as our favorite because it's filled with nutrients. It has iron, it has calcium, it has fiber. So this food is very nutritious in our body, not only those who has diabetes. We too we can eat this food because it's very good in our body. It's good for both adults and also children. So we can make this food for a diabetic patient, and we can also use unripe plantain to make swallow. So we have unripe plantain swallow which can be served with any soup of your choice to a diabetic patient. So this is number one. Number two, we have fonio. We know what is called fonio. Is popularly known as acha. Acha is one of the tiniest grain that we find mainly in the northern part of Nigeria. Acha can be used to make swallow. It can be used to make jollof. It can be used to make porridge. So we have acha swallow, acha jollof, acha porridge. We can also use it to make pap. So acha is good and can be used to make different types of food for a diabetic patient. Acha has so many nutritional values. It has fiber. It has less carbohydrates, which is the main reason why a diabetic patient can eat it successfully without having any issue. Another one is guinea corn. We know what is called guinea corn. Guinea corn is also a type of grain, popularly known as dawa. But there is a particular species of guinea corn which is the best for anyone who has diabetes. Dawa is very nice, but there is a particular species of dawa that we all don't know. It is very red, and if you look at it, it's not the same shape as the normal dawa that we know. This is it on the screen. This particular dawa is very red. So when we want to use it to make swallow for a diabetic patient, we have to soak it for 3 days. After washing it, we soak it for 3 days. We will see the kind of reddish color that will come out. Then we wash it, spread it to dry before we go and grind it. This particular dawa is very good for a diabetic patient because it contains lesser carbohydrates than the main dawa. So that is why it is more prescribed for a diabetic patient. So remember, all these grains I'm listing can be used to make swallow for any diabetic patient. So let's not be restricted to a particular swallow for a diabetes patient, because I noticed that so many people who has diabetes, they base on wheat flour, which is another food or swallow that a diabetes patient can eat. Wheat flour is a very good food for a diabetic patient, but we cannot just restrict ourselves or depend on that particular swallow because we have other varieties of food that they can eat. We ourselves that we don't have such issue, when they restrict us on a particular food, don't you know that we won't be happy? Sometimes we'll be tired of eating a particular food. So that's why I'm listing all these foods that can be given to this particular patient. So after this, we also have oatmeal. Oatmeal is very good because it has lesser carb. So we can use this oatmeal to make swallow for them, and we can also use it to make pap, which we all of us knows about it. So this food can be given to a diabetic patient without having any issue. We also have moi moi. Moi moi is rich in fiber, and we can give it to a diabetic patient. They can eat it without having any issue. Remember, all these things I'm mentioning are food that a diabetic patient can eat, that we know that we too we can also eat them. Bambara nut is also good for a diabetic patient. It can be used to make okpa, which is a pudding made from bambara nut. We can also use it to make swallow. Those who know that bambara nut can also be used to make swallow, yes, you can use bambara nut to make swallow. So we can use these fruits as a variety for a diabetic patient. Please, it's not good to restrict someone to a particular food. We can mix it for them. So guys, all these food I just mentioned here that can be used to make swallow, there are also soups that is very good for a diabetic patient. Number one soup is bitter leaf soup. Bitter leaf soup is very good and nutritious for any diabetic patient. Can be served with any swallow of their choice and any protein, unless that person has any health issue that dey restrict the person from eating protein like meat or fish, but we can use it to make food for them, especially dried fish. Den another soup is vegetable soup. Vegetable soup is very okay for anyone who has diabetes because we make it with varieties of vegetables. It's also called edikaikon soup. Another soup we can give them is okra soup, because okra is a vegetable that we all know, and we prepare it with some nutritious ingredients which make it very good to give to this type of people. We too can enjoy that soup. So it's not also bad when we make these soups with fish or meat, except, I repeat, if that person have any health condition that restrict him or her from eating such protein. Then another one is ogbono soup. We all know ogbono. So some of these foods and these soups I just mentioned now are the ones I know that we can get it anywhere we are, so that we won't restrict them to a particular food. We can be changing their foods. You can also get potatoes, whether sweet potatoes or Irish potatoes, and use it to make swallow for them. There are so many ways to make potato swallows, and we can also use it to make some snack for them like chips that they can enjoy. I know that most of us love potato chips, whether sweet potato chips or Irish potato chips. So they too can enjoy that. So guys, remember, when making it for a diabetic patient, we shouldn't add salt. But when taking it, we can add salt. So all these things I just listed now are food that we can make for anybody who has diabetes. So to my follower and my friend who requested for this video, I hope that with this point of mine, I've been able to show you some of the things that you need. And to every other person who will come across this video, I believe that all of us can also learn from this. Note that this is not the only food we can give to a diabetic patient. There are other food out there. But with this one, I know that we will restrict them, and with this one we can get it very easily wherever we are. So thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.